Hi, my name is Mrs. Terbrack, and if you're watching this video, that means I have your student in either my second, third, or fifth hour geometry class. A little bit about myself to start. I got my undergrad at Western, my master's at MSU. Those are my two little girls. They are 1 and 3 years old, and this is my 14th year teaching at Stony. I've taught here since the beginning of my career. I wouldn't want to teach anywhere else. I coached cross country here for 10 years. I just really love working here at Stony. Geometry. Maybe your student has already told you how different it is from algebra. There's a lot less numbers and a lot more words and symbols. So they're going to be making flashcards this first semester to memorize some of the new vocabulary, and their homework answers or test answers are going to look different because it may be words or just a single number or a couple letters with some notation over it. So it does take some getting used to at the start. But what happens several times is we take a geometry concept and we set up an equation, and then they can use algebra to solve it. So it's kind of connecting the geometry and algebra together. Second semester, I think, is more of what students are expecting geometry to be about. We go over all the 3D figures, and we spend time going over lots of different shapes, and there's more formulas, and there's a lot more numbers second semester, but that first semester is a big change from Algebra 1 with all the vocabulary. So class typically starts by the students checking their answers to the practice problems from the day before. I'm either going around and answering individual questions about ones that they skipped or they got wrong that they weren't sure about, or I see that several students keep getting the same one wrong, so we'll talk about it as a whole group, or if I notice that it's a problem that's really important for the upcoming assessment, I'll make sure I address that with the whole group. Then we go over the lesson for the new concept for the day. And then I try to always give them time in class to work on some practice problems. I call these check your understanding problems because this is where I want students to make mistakes and ask me questions, or work with their neighbor or their whole table and ask them questions. I don't believe in the whole, like, whoever gets their homework done first is obviously the best math student. I don't care if they know their multiplication facts super fast. To me, all students are capable of learning higher level mathematics, just it might take them a little bit longer to get there. And geometry is definitely different. There's some spatial reasoning that has to go on. And so I want students to draw a picture, or if there's already a picture, then color on the picture. And all of that might take more time, but if it's going to lead to success, then to me, that's a win. We're going to have assessments in class. I call these celebrations of knowledge. But they're basically just quizzes. So it's not a short checkpoint, it's a longer quiz, and there's about 3 to 6 skills on that one quiz. This is the time when kids can use a calculator, but they can't use their phone. So a lot of them say, well, I don't have a calculator, I just use my phone. Well, not on test day. So when I ask them for a calculator, at a minimum, it needs to be scientific. And what makes it scientific are these 3 buttons: sine, cosine, and tangent. So if you can find a calculator with those 3 buttons on it, your child is good for this year. They're usually about $10. Next year in Algebra 2, they will need a graphing calculator. So if you want to spend the $100 and get them the graphing calculator this year, you're welcome to do that. I'm familiar with those calculators, so I can help them get to know the buttons a little bit. That way they feel a little more confident with it going into Algebra 2 next year. But scientific calculator at a minimum, please. All of these celebrations are retakeable. So if there's 3 skills on one quiz, let's say 2 of them went really well and 1 skill didn't go that well, then students only need to focus on retaking that 1 skill instead of retaking the whole quiz. They just need to come hang out with me before or after school to prepare for that retake. And that leads me to the last slide. If you ever need to contact me, email is the best way to do that. And if the students want to contact me one-on-one, I suggest they come see me before or after school. We can go over homework problems together. If it's quiz day, I can give them extra practice problems, or if they want to do a retake, we can work on that. So I am available every day before and after school. They don't have to tell me they're coming. They just have to show up and be ready to work and ask questions. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me at any point this year if you ever see something in parent view that you have a question or concern about, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.